So what's the plan for this? What's wrong with you?
Oh, it's just a little sniffle. Sorry when I booted this game up for some reason. Oh, anyways. I don't know what his problem is, but this week we're discovering Plague Inc. While there's been a couple of Flash games with this concept, as far as I could find, this is the first proper release of a game with this concept. The concept is that you are controlling a disease, helping it spread from patient zero. You use strategy and upgrade your resiliences, how you can be transmuted, and your symptoms. All with the greatest goal of all, to destroy the world! When you first start out, you'll be a basic bacteria without any special upgrades or abilities. Now go forth and get cured. I'm not sure if the game is really hard until you get some upgrades, or if I'm really bad at it. Whichever the case is, unless I'm on easy mode, I get cured long before eradicating even half the world. That might very well be the goal, though. Each time you successfully destroy the world, you unlock a new upgrade, mutation, etc. The normal difficulty and above might be intended for play only once you've unlocked more. If that's the case, they do a terrible job of conveying that. This isn't to say the game isn't enjoyable. I love strategy games in general, and when the scope of your influence in strategy is the entire world, that just makes it even better. Having played lots of Flash games with this concept, I can also say that it avoids several pitfalls that those games fell into. For example, it's not absolutely necessary to begin in Madagascar if you ever want a hope of winning. They won't close their borders to ships the instant someone gets a rash in Argentina. The idea that a cure for a disease with such a plethora of dissimilar symptoms would likely be developed so quickly is a little ridiculous, but it is a necessary scenario for something like this to not be absurdly simple. Your strategy really can work on a micro level too. There's so much to customize about the disease. Do you transfer by air? Rodents? Do you make your victims sneeze, cough, suffer through complete organ failure? Yes, that's really a thing. There are even secret combos, too. Combining two types of symptoms can create a new symptom with extra effects. Insomnia and mind fog result in scientists having trouble creating a cure, for example. This allows for even more strategy and planning. One thing I can't comment on, though, is story. That isn't to say there is none. In each playthrough, there will be a running ticker tape of news from the world that you're destroying. The news will range from meaningless jokes, references that help influence the mood, to important information that can help determine your strategy and draw attention to world decisions that will affect you. It helps the world to feel alive, which in a weird way is part of what makes it so fun to have to try so hard to wipe it out. That's really what I can say, and that it feels good to say, considering how my channel tends to run. The game is fun. The only flaws I have are how long it takes to unlock things, and how hard it is without a proper explanation. Those aren't even flaws though, just long-term play goals, and a strategy game would be boring if it was easy. So the base game is a lot of fun and lacks my usual complaints. Which is why it just breaks my heart that I have to unpack that sentence. There are other game modes. What exactly is the vampire mode? It sounded interesting on the surface, but it has a lot of the same issues right out of the gate. The poor explanations provided by the game are horribly compounded because in the base game everything is set up in a way that makes it clear how to play with a single session. I finished my first playthrough as the vampire, and I didn't ever want to touch that play mode again. Let me repeat that. I did not want to play the mode ever again. I love this style of game. It was one of my favorite Flash game styles when I was growing up playing them, and I love strategy games in general. And yet, my first game session with the mode was so bad that I never want to experience it again for any cause, reason, or situation. Again, my complaint is only that though. The main game remains what it was, the main game mode. Yelling at the vampire plague feels like yelling at a great movie because a bonus short in the DVD special edition was terrible. You're not going to throw out the movie or stop watching it because of the short. You just don't watch the short. So if you enjoy strategy, have a penchant for mass destruction, and will enjoy unlocking the multiple disease upgrades, I can definitely recommend giving this game a try.